Hello humans and extraterrestrials. So today I'm going to be doing a favourites video, an August favourites video. Lots of these things are going to be TV shows, and it's going to be a mix of like what stories I ate this month, which is a Extine May series, and like a regular favourites video, because I feel like often people only really give like physical favourites, like, oh, I love this jumper. I have actually loved this jumper this month, or like I use this perfume a lot, or like they've made it, I don't know. But anyway, I apologise for any background noise because my family exist and will not be quiet. But we're going to start with TV shows because I have two. So the first one is called Schitt's Creek, which is a show about a family who are a really rich family, and then they end up losing all their money in one way or another and end up living in this town called Schitt's Creek. Now, the reason they live in this town specifically is because the father of this family bought his son this town as a joke because it was called Schitt's Creek, which really shows you how like rich they are. Like, they were billionaires, they were so rich. And yeah, and they move to this town and they sort of have to interact with these locals, and they sort of get to a stage where like for the first season it's just like seeing them being horrible people, but like after a while they sort of turn into these really lovely, like nice human beings who are treating the others with respect. It's so nice to see. Anyway, yeah, that's Schitt's Creek. The next show, which you've probably already heard of, is called Steven Universe, which is a cartoon mostly towards kids, but it's, I don't know if I have to explain it, but basically I started watching Steven Universe a few years ago when I was like 14 maybe, but like I kind of jumped out of it, like I stopped caring about it as much, but I have been watching it more recently. It's sort of what I do in my downtime now, in my free time, as us British people like to say. Downtime to me is an American phrase. Anyway, yeah, it's just so like nice and relaxing, but also like being grounded in something, because it's not like Air. Like, I know it's kind like it's got plot, and it's kind of got issues that are put into it, you know. But anyway, moving on from TV, we'll go on to music. So I have two albums, well, an album and like I think an EP, but anyway, the first one is called Montgomery Ricky by Ricky Montgomery. But yeah, basically he did this album. I know nothing about the guy. I just came across it on my or I came across a song from it. But which one was it? It was the first one in that album, called This December. In my Spotify, what do you call it? Your Spotify weekly, like your daily mix or whatever. And one of those, it came up, and I was like, oh, this is a good song. Let me find out more about the guy. And I didn't find much about him. I think he's in a band. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but if I, you know, but yeah, he's in a band. But this is his solo album, and it's really good. And it's just so like, it's very like pop indie, which I know isn't everybody's thing, but I really enjoy it, and I think it's a really nice, like it's a very nice. August has been a very like nice and chill things month. I've like appreciated, because I went back to school this month, which means stress. So yeah, that. Yeah, my other album, or EP I believe, is called Songs for Someone You Love by, I think Snack Pack is how you'd say it, is SNCKPCK, all in capitals, no spaces. But I would guess Snack Pack is how you would say it, not Snoop, because that sounds a bit silly. But I mean, this is quite silly actually. It's in the title, but they're like very sweet, kind of like literal silly songs, you know. Like, it's so nice. It's just like such a like ridiculous but wonderful vibe within it, and I just think it's wonderful. Anyway, moving on from that, we have some books. So I have two books for you today. The first one I have, technically I read in July, which is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Big old book. How many pages? It's like 400 and something pages. Or no, let's see, 500 and find out how many pages. How many pages? 517 pages, so it's a thick boy. But the print isn't super small. But anyway, that's not the point. This is a book that is like very similar to that of like Harry Potter or anything, where the main character is called Simon Snow, and he has to, and he's like a chosen one. And he goes to school with this other guy called Baz, or sorry, that one's Baz, that one's Simon. And they're roommates in this book, and that's all I can really tell you, because like, I don't know, I don't want to spoil it for you, but a lot of stuff happens, and it's very good and very fun. And it focuses a lot on the relationship between these two characters. Because they're like enemies, and that, you know, like it's there's a whole thing. But yeah, it's a great book. Would recommend. And again, technically I read this at the end of July, but I just got so into the fandom and all of the stuff that's written about it and all the art during August that I thought I would include it anyway. My next and final book actually is called Final Draft by Riley Redgate, which is a book about, it's about a young girl who enjoys writing and there's a teacher. Her teacher is always telling her to like show her writing to more people, and she doesn't want to show it to anyone but him because he's always loved her writing. And it's sort of, and he like falls ill, but he gets injured and then has to go to a hospital and stays in the hospital. And while he's there is this like famous writer of whatever novels, I don't know, I feel like I can't draw a comparison in real life, because to me there isn't like one big author, there's many of them. But she is very similar to, like, in terms of like being known, is like Stephen King, but obviously it's not like horror. But she replaces them because she is friends with him or with the headmaster or something. And basically she's far stricter, and she's sort of like, at first, this isn't really a spoiler, but when she first grades their things, they all fail, and they're like, what the hell's happening? And they've got to sort of come over that, along with all the personal issues. So yeah, it's incredibly interesting. I will be back. I have to cut for a minute. Okay, I am back. Another thing I would say about both of these books is they both involve queer characters. So if that's something you're looking for, if you're looking for recommendations on that, these are two that I really enjoyed. They're two very separate genres. This is very fantasy, this is very contemporary. But yeah, I would really recommend them. And if you would like more recommendations on queer book novels, then please feel free to let me know, and I could make a video about it. Or I could, if you would like personal recommendations, then ask me, or check my Goodreads. Speaking of Goodreads, actually, my next subject is like media, but it's not really media. We're kind of just going into the miscellaneous stuff now, where there's only really one thing for each category, but like technically speaking, this is like a social media, which is Goodreads. I've gotten really back into using Goodreads because I kind of phase in and out of my phases of Goodreads as I read, or as I don't, I guess, because I feel like I'm one of these people that will either read like 10 books a month or will read none. I tend to not be super consistent on that. So I tend to pick it up and use it more when I'm reading more often. But because I'm not one to update how many pages I've read, I tend to just go, okay, yeah, I've read it now, and I thought it was 4 stars or whatever. But yeah. But I've been really using it again recently. Well, firstly due to me getting back into book YouTube and things, which if you saw a previous video of mine, I talked about a YouTuber called Problems with Book Nerd, also known as CC. But anyway, I got more into that community again, and it made me want to go back on Goodreads and update everything, because I've read the book since I'd last used it. But yeah, it's just been fun to use. Also, another thing is a YouTube channel / musical theatre company called StarKid. Now if you know StarKid, you may know StarKid from things such as a Harry Potter musical, a Harry Potter sequel, and a Harry Potter Senior Year, or many of their other independent musicals. But if you know them but don't know them anymore, it'll probably be because of a Harry Potter musical, because it kind of went a little bit viral. But they are a wonderful company. They make musicals and they do musicals for a living, basically. But they also upload a recorded version of the musicals that they do onto YouTube, which is incredible. Like, the fact that they do that, it's so nice to see that, because I hate bootlegs, but it doesn't stop me from watching them sometimes. Because, like, if I want to watch Wicked again and I don't want to go and spend hundreds of pounds on a ticket, then, and on train tickets to the place and on hotel if it's a late show, or like, it's a hassle. So I just it's so nice for them to, it's such a thing that I appreciate them doing, because it's a thing I wish more theatres and most shows would do. But also, they're freaking hilarious. Their casts are brilliant. Just to name a few, Joe Walker, although he's technically not a member of them anymore, Mariah Rose Faith, Robert Mannion, Joey Richter, Lauren Lopez, Gina and Beauty, you don't know, or Beatty, I never know how to say her name. But anyway, there's a bunch of them. You won't know who any of them are until you've seen their face, and you'll go, oh. Also, Darren Criss is a recurring person who helps with them and stuff. But also, most of their, I feel like this is just an endorsement for StarKid now, but most of their, or all of their shows are funded by Kickstarter, so they get the money from that, and that's how they, like, live, which is incredibly wonderful, that they have such a wide audience that they can do that. But also, it kind of sucks that they have to. Anyway, yeah, StarKid, go watch all the musicals, they're all wonderful. I would say that Starship is my favourite, although I also really like Twisted, and also all of the other ones, but those two are pretty high on my list. Anyway, what else do I have to talk to you about? Okay, I have 3 more things. I have a candle, which is this candle from Flame Homeware, called Peony and Blush Suede, a premium scented candle. I know it doesn't look like it's burned much, but I've done the thing where I've accidentally only really burned it down the middle, because the wick, it only has 1 wick. So, like, it's actually probably down here. But it just smells so good. It just smells like, well, it smells like peony and Blush Suede. It's good. I just inhaled some the wick there, but it was good. Smells good. Great smell, boys. Let's see. Yeah, I have a really weird one now. I have a pen on my list today. This is a Zebra Z-Grip blue erasable gel pen. 0.7 as well. It's just a really smooth pen to use, because I went back to school on the 21st, I think. 21st of August, yes, because it's my brother's birthday and he's always back on his birthday. And I've been writing essays in blue ink because it's helps you remember things. You're more likely to remember stuff if you're writing in blue ink. That could be BS, but I've heard it quite a few times, and I think there is actually weird research done into it. Either way, it's the placebo's working for me, because I think I tend to remember things better when I've written them in blue. But I've been writing in blue ink, and I bought 4 of these. I bought 2 packs of 2 before a shop that was selling them was closing. I bought quite a few things from there, including this notebook actually. But I just bought a few because I was like, oh, they must be good. I've heard a lot about Zebra, which, yeah, they're good brands. I have their mild liners as well, which are also quite good. But yeah, good pen, smooth pen, also erases, which is really nice because you don't tend to get gel pens that do that. It kind of leaves a little bit of a mark, because obviously that's the eraser, right? But it can leave a little bit of a darker mark, but it's not bad enough that it makes a difference really. It's just kind of light. But yeah, I feel like I'm really rushing this. I'm not trying to. But my last thing for this month, I think, yeah, my last thing for this month is actually a pair of shoes. And they are my Doc Martens, my holographic rainbow Doc Martens. These were a Christmas present last year, and God have they got some use. I have worn them to death, if you can tell, because they've gotten all comfortable and worn in. It took a few months to wear them in actually, but they're so comfortable and they look real cool, and I just love them. They're great shoes. I would recommend that most people should have at least one pair of Doc Martens, because the majority of people I know, like the majority of people I know that got them a while ago, they've lasted them a really long time. Like my mum's pair lasted her a decade, which is a very long time for a pair of shoes to last. So, you know, would recommend 10 out of 10. So yeah, I really thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then you know what to do. Remember to drink your water, eat your vegetables, and peace out, I guess.